Jason, what'd you think of the game this weekend, man?
Didn't watch it.
Oh, what's up, guys and gals and people and whatever out there? Welcome to the Red, White, and the Blues podcast. I'm Daniel, and I'm joined as always by my main Prochacho Nacho, Jason. How you doing, man?
What's up, bro? Taco. We tried a little intro. We'll see how it goes. I don't know. I was trying to play with the timing, like lay down.
Yeah, man.
I mean, truthfully though, I didn't watch the game, so that wasn't just a bit. That was like a real honest answer. We will always be honest with you.
That's right.
Out there.
We are a real honest podcast. No BS on here, guys.
Yeah.
No BS. So yeah, I'm sort of happy for you that you didn't get to watch the podcast.
Me too.
Watch the podcast, watch the match.
Yeah. Same.
I'm happy for you.
Dude, when you were giving me updates, my wife and I went on a little birthday excursion. And things got frisky, and so we spent the night. No, I'm just kidding. We're old and tired, and we drove far enough to where we couldn't drive back. So we had to stay the night. And in doing so, I missed the game. So Daniel was updating me, and I didn't even see any of the second half updates because I was driving. And after the first half, I was like, I'm not checking this. And then I think I had like 20-something messages from you afterward.
Probably.
And all I saw, the most recent one was 2-2.
Yeah.
And I could not believe it. Like, when that was the final score. I was really, really, really just like, it was unbelievable to me.
I mean, let's be real. I mean, this was coming. Like, I mean, I know I didn't get the score prediction right. I did predict a draw, though. Like, it was coming. Like, but what compounds the issue to make it worse is that they had 10 men and their manager got sent off.
Yeah. Dude, and they got, like, when was the red card?
Oh, I don't know the minute. It was in the first half at some point in time.
Yeah, so like, to make it even worse, it's in the first freaking half. It was in the 43rd minute.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Like, what are we doing?
Both their goals came after they had 10 men. So it was like, it wasn't
That's
like
so obnoxious.
It was like 1-1, and then they scored one. I mean, they should have had 3. They hit the crossbar also in probably the final 10 minutes of the match. They hit the crossbar. Because we don't know how to do anything off corners. No marking. I don't know what we do on corners. It's beyond me.
Like, it's kind of amazing because like, I've watched a few of the commentary. I haven't watched any of the highlights of the game. Like, I just didn't care.
Just don't.
Maybe I'm a bad fan. I don't know. I just, watching this iteration of this team, I've been very vocal in how much I've disliked this team. Even if I really like some individual players, like the iteration of Chelsea that they are now, I just don't like them. And I've watched some commentary, and they were just kind of talking about, because there was an article, Simon Johnson wrote an article in The Athletic about, are we better off or are we not better off at this stage in the season? Because we talked about it pre-pod, it's the 1-year anniversary of Graham Potter. My claim to fame, I'm wearing kind of like Villa colors right now. Yeah. But my claim to fame is after that Villa game last season, Potter got the sack, and then I got to watch the Liverpool game right after that. So I don't remember us scoring in either game, so I don't think I've technically seen a goal from us at Stamford Bridge. I've seen VAR take some off of us, probably in both games, but yeah. So I mean, through that article, right? Like Simon Johnson's going through how Potter kind of handled his reign, 22-ish games, and how, because it was like 6 Tuchel, 22 Potter, 10 Lampard that season.
That's so weird.
Or like 9 Lampard and 1 the interim guy.
Yeah.
And then like a full preseason with Poch and kind of a new roster, like what that means. And he was going through, and I think we had scored like during Potter's time, like up until Potter got sacked. I think we had scored like 21 goals, but we had also let in like 21 goals.
Yeah.
And now during Poch's time, we've scored, I think, like 47-ish goals. I'm trying to go off the top of my head here. And we've let in like 49 goals.
Reverse it.
Okay.
We've scored 49, let in 47.
Okay. That is pathetic.
Mm-hmm.
That's freaking pathetic. And then the team doesn't perform consistently over the course of one game. So it's like, I don't, like where we're at is there have been some flashes of brilliance, and we've had some players really shine, like Gusto Palmer. Nico's coming into his own a little bit.
Yeah, fair. It's about
but man, have like we really blown it at the back.
Yep.
And have we really, really like not capitalized on chances? And like I just get tired of watching. Like I just cannot. Like as a fan of this team, like it's rough. So I don't know. I was hanging out with my wife. I was just gonna enjoy the day. After the 2-2 draw, I'm really salty, and I haven't wanted to watch the highlights. And I'll go back and watch them at some point. But I'm not the guy to really talk about the game per se. But like the feelings of there's an expectation, and we'll talk about expectations maybe based on what Poch was freaking saying after the game. But like yeah, man, I think I'm just so disappointed. Like I just don't. What are we supposed to do? I don't know. We're 2 points better than we were last season, so there's that. I guess.
Yeah.
At this stage in the game, though, we're about to be like, we're kind of getting into Lamps territory, and like, there's not much to say about that last season. So if you want to compare seasons to seasons, I mean, this was probably the time to do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, like this is bad.
Finish much worse than what Lamps finished at the end of last year.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you can't finish that bad.
It's
So
bad.
there's that, I guess, to look forward to. That once we should start pulling away from our point total from last year, but still won't mean anything.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't think there's a lot to really talk about during the game. There's a few things that I had written down. Number one, I think Poch, and we talked about this before we got on air with the podcast, has one tactic now, and it is just get the ball to Cole Palmer and let Cole Palmer do whatever he wants to do. That seems
That's all
to
he's
be
got.
the game plan now.
I mean, you've said it before. Palmer has single-handedly saved Poch's job.
Yeah,
So
Palmer, I'm working on it. I'm got an article because I'm sick and tired of this deadgum narrative going around the club that we should be fourth on our considering all these imaginary goals that we have scored this year. I'm sick and tired of this narrative that Poch is, promoting. We should be fourth. We should be fourth. The statistics say we should be fourth. Well, guess what? You're 11th, and that's all that matters. I don't care what the XG says. I don't care what the stat. I don't care what the analytics say. What the table says is what matters, and we're 11th. So you can have all your imaginary goals that you want, and you and your front office people can analyze everything to death. But at the end of the day, when you look at the table, we're 11th, and your analytics are meaningless and pointless at this point in time. So all that to say, yes, we would be probably relegated right now, and the relegation zone if not for Cole Palmer. It's just ridiculous what he's doing. So Poch is just deferred to him now. Maybe to the detriment at a couple of times in the match where he should have passed the ball. But then again, can you blame him? Like,
I mean, he's hot.
and nobody else does anything.
Right,
Like,
right.
So,
Yep.
I mean, maybe Nico. I can understand that. But I'm more referencing it seems to be coming a beef between him and Gallagher now. He didn't pass the ball to Gallagher one time when Gallagher was open and shot. And then Gallagher could have laid it off to Palmer, and Palmer probably would have scored very easily on a break. And Gallagher shot the ball, and Palmer was pretty pissed at him for that. It's like, okay, well, our team chemistry might be going down, but Palmer's getting goals. Don't know.
Yeah.
It's a catch-22, I think, but whatever. I don't. At this point in time, I don't care. Just we're not going to Europe. Whatever.
Hey, we haven't lost to City all year.
This is
in all
true.
2 games we played.
This is true. We've drawn them both.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. We played the big teams well, so we just can't beat the sucky teams like Burnley.
Yeah.
We're really good at that, 10 men especially. You realize that's twice now that we haven't won matches where we've played against 10 men this season. West Ham early in the year, and now this.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when we went to 10 men down at Tottenham at the beginning of the year, it took us until like the 90th minute to break them down.
True.
Or when they went to 10 men. I mean,
yeah, that is true. It's a fair point.
And then we won 4-1. And everybody's like, "Oh, we beat Tottenham 4-1," which, like, on paper is like really great.
Yeah.
I'm not taking anything away from that Derby result, but at the same time, the way that we did it, and like that's the thing, right? Like we can look at like there's the expectations we were talking about, like. If the expectations is, and that's the stat, and the stat is expected goals. And if you want to look at that stat and say, by that stat, we should be this high. I don't know why you think that is a talking point that works in your favor.
Yeah.
Because the expectation would be then that you're that high. Mm-hmm. Like, that means you're underperforming Poch. That means they're not doing what they need to do. They're not clinical in front of goal. We're not defensively stopping goals. Like we got to stop putting it into the back of our own net, apparently. But it's just like the expectation is we would have the goals. So you're underperforming and not meeting expectations, but somehow you think because we should be fourth by expected goals, that's a good thing to say. That seems ridiculous to me. That's just one of the dumbest things I've ever heard. Like what you said. Like the actuality is we're in 11th on 40 points, which is nice because there was times last year where we thought we were going to be relegated.
That's true.
Especially once Lamps got in. So
yeah.
But yeah, we're on 40 now, so we're probably fine. But
yeah.
Right now
this year.
The expectation would be we would be higher in the table. Mm-hmm. That's not a good thing that we're not.
It's a good thing. Yeah. Yeah, it's like you said, we're underachieving. Like we're doing worse than what we should be doing because our people suck.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's not good. That means you're not doing the things.
Yeah. You're not doing what you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
So,
I just don't understand how they're looking at that as a positive. Like it's showing how underperforming we are. But whatever.
Yep. It is what it is.
Whatever they got to tell themselves, man. Just go peddle another movie in the stands and tell yourself we should be higher, and then that's our club now.
Yep, that is our club. Mediocrity at its finest.
It's outrageous.
But the defense, I just went back and looked. We have not kept a clean sheet since January the 26th. So in 2 months.
Wow.
2 months, we have not had a clean sheet. And all these people, I just think it's funny though that all these people have been railing about how Thiago Silva was the problem defensively, and like he was the defensive issue that was holding us back. And ever since he's been injured, we still haven't kept any clean sheets. So he's obviously not the problem. So I don't know, man.
Isn't Poch historically good with fullbacks too?
I don't know. I don't care. care about Poch, honestly, Jason. So I don't know. You might be right. I know he's supposed to be good with young kids, but that's not true.
Like,
I mean, if
I don't
maybe
know. I'm just trying to
fullbacks.
remember. It's like Rose and Walker and
I mean, Gusto. I mean, that's fair. I mean,
yeah.
Cucurella's been. I would say he's been better this year. He's improved.
Yeah.
So maybe that's true, but we need.
I feel like there's one more person I'm missing.
We need a center back guru.
Yeah.
So, like, because DCC, Badiashile, that's not a combination I ever want to see start for Chelsea again.
Man. Oh, yeah, Dyer. He had Dyer. He had Alderweireld. Whatever his name is. Vertonghen. Ben Davies. Danny Rose. I think that's who I was thinking about.
Yeah. I don't know.
Kyle Walker. No, I said Rose. Sorry. I don't know who I was thinking of then. One of those. Yeah, man. Trippier. Like he's historically had a decent defensive record. But yeah, I'm with you. Like, how much do we care about Poch? Like, how much is it worth analyzing Poch at this point? Like,
right.
I just don't foresee him staying. I like the negativity around him is so great. Like, even if he goes, and we were talking about this like weeks and weeks ago, like even if he wins the FA Cup, I just don't think either one of us would want him here.
No.
But now we're at a point where, who was it? Did Xabi Alonso say he wouldn't want to come here or something?
He's staying. He said he's staying at Leverkusen for another year.
Yeah.
He's turned everybody down. So,
I don't know. I feel like the way it was presented when I heard that was like he was just like, yeah, I definitely don't want them or something.
Well, yeah, I mean, not when your other options are. I mean, he has Bayern Munich and Liverpool, and if you waited to Ancelotti retire or whenever he leaves Madrid, I'm sure Madrid would come calling too. So, I mean, why would you want to come to Chelsea when you have those three clubs? I mean,
right.
You can go to Bayern Munich and cakewalk the Bundesliga every year. You can go to Liverpool, who already has a system in place, or you can go to one of the biggest clubs the biggest club in the world in Real Madrid.
Right.
I mean,
which means we're no longer a good destination to go.
No, which means if we fire Poch, the pool of coaches that are going to come here is less and less and less.
Yeah.
So it's almost like I'm beginning to think we're going to end up stuck with Poch for another year.
I mean, you might be right.
I just don't know who we're going to get because apparently Zagreb is now the leading candidate for the Bayern Munich job. And then I think Poole is going to get Amore, whatever his name is. I think that's the guy from Portuguese league, wherever is it Sporting? Is that where he is?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're
Amarin?
him.
Is that his name? Who?
I can't pronounce names. I'm terrible with names. I'm awful with names. So, I think Poole's getting him. So, you don't really have... Those are probably our top two picks.
I heard somebody, I think it might have been Football Therapy, was floating Thiago Motta earlier. He's the football manager in Syria. He's for... I'm not at Bologna. I was just gonna say Bologna. Bologna, yeah.
Yeah, I've heard Flick, Hans Flick. I've heard him mentioned. I heard I heard old Gunnar Solskjaer got mentioned today.
Oh God,
he's a great fit at Chelsea. I'm like, what are you smoking? But yeah, I mean, the point is that if we fire Poch at the end of the year, our options are limited, and you're going to have to get a mid-table coach that is okay with being a yes man, that is okay with just having the players that the board gives them, that has no say in the team, and no good manager that's not trying to prove themselves wants to come into a situation like that. Like, that's why Nagelsmann isn't here right now, is because he literally said, I want my players. I want to do it my way. And the board said no. And so, it is what it is. Whatever. I mean, whatever. No clue how to run a football club. But anyway, back to the Burnley match at hand. So, I've also began thinking, Jason, that I know you didn't see the second goal, but we might have to reconsider Petrovic being the savior of the goalkeeper at this club. I'm still a pro Petrovic podcast, and I want Petrovic to succeed at this club more than anything.
Yeah.
But, man, I just don't know. I don't know anymore after this match.
Is this the...
He's still better than Bob. Don't get me wrong.
I'm going to go watch it. This is the second Burnley goal you're talking about?
Second goal. First one, no fault of... It was just a good shot. Second one, it was off the corner, and I don't know, like, if he tried to catch the ball and he got caught in between, like, what he was trying to do, and he just wasn't quick enough, but literally the ball just goes through his hands.
Yeah.
Like, if he could have just... He should have just parried it over the goal and taken another corner. But then I thought to myself, he has no faith in his defense to actually mark somebody on a corner. So maybe that's why he was trying to catch the ball. But,
dude, that,
I don't know.
That second goal we had was pretty tasty. I just saw that one.
Oh, the back heel from Sterling to Palmer?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, I'm watching the goal now. Live reaction. First time I'm seeing this. Oh my god. What's he doing?
I don't know. It was bad defending too. Like, it's not 100% on Petrovic.
Oh yeah.
But
our man marking on set pieces this season has been absolutely atrocious. Yeah, what is he doing?
I can't figure it out. It's almost like he got caught in between two things. Like, he trying to catch the ball and trying to knock it away. I don't know what he was doing.
Oh my gosh, I just saw the hitting the crossbar as well.
Yeah, I was another unmarked man off a set piece, I believe. So,
yeah, that is an open header.
Mm-hmm.
Like, did our guys even know they were taking that?
I don't know what. Yes, they knew they were taking it, but they hadn't.
Enzo at least jumped.
They don't not like the fact that Poch. And this is the problem also with Poch. Is apparently he's stubborn as I'll get out. And like I said, what's the point of doing this now? It's almost in a year. But the fact that he has refused a set-piece specialist.
Yeah.
All season. Up until, I don't know who stepped in and told him he had to get one. Because essentially that's the way it's been presented, is that somebody told Poch you have to get a set-piece specialist because you can't, like, you suck at setting up your team. So, in marking people, and they don't know what they're doing. I mean, it's apparent. We still don't know what we're doing. I mean, because our set-piece specialist is on garden leave or whatever the hell he's coming from. I don't know what the hell. I don't know what's going on. But, so we still don't have a set-piece specialist. But the fact that Poch couldn't even realize that he needed help on something as simple as set pieces just tells me all I need to know about him as a manager. Like, crazy.
Yeah, and that's the things, right? Like, that's, like, it just seems like they're making all the wrong decisions right now.
Yeah. All the wrong decisions. Every single one of them.
This is weird. This is from March 3rd. Chelsea are looking, this is from The Athletic. Chelsea are looking to hire some specialist set piece coaches as part of a new department at the club. Why is it a new department?
Because Poch didn't need them, Jason. Poch doesn't need set piece people. Because he's a master and he does everything on his own and he can do it all.
I mean, this goes to what you were saying. Plans to establish a dedicated faction within the club to look at this particular skill set were first raised last summer, but they are now stepping up the process. Head coach Mauricio Pochettino has been consulted about the creation of the new roles and supports the idea.
Yeah, now that...
We've not had a set-piece specialist coach since Anthony Barry left the club for Bayern in April last year.
So essentially, since Potter left.
Yeah. Crazy.
That is.
What are we doing?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Like, what is this? What is this?
This is the problem. You take a bunch of dumb American capitalists, venture capitalists, who don't know how to run a freaking football club, and you put them in charge of it, and you just let them go crazy with their billions of dollars, and they don't know what the hell they're doing. So, that's the situation we're in.
What is this, man? Like, what's the point in even analyzing these games anymore?
That's a great question. It's a great thought, but I would like your opinion on one more thing that happened during the match, Jason.
Okay.
So, after you saw the brilliant back heel by Sterling,
Yeah.
did they happen to show the celebration on the replay?
I have to go back. Let me go back. I'm going back. This is good TV right here, ladies and gentlemen.
The celebration is quite interesting on that.
I'll watch the extended highlights.
On the celebration is, essentially the players rallied around Sterling and encouraged the fans to cheer him.
Oh, okay. I'm not quite seeing that. They've all just caught up to Palmer.
Yeah. So.
Oh, somebody. Oh, okay. Was it DCC that picked up Sterling? They kind of showed something.
I wasn't real clear when I was watching the match. I was reading about it afterwards. So, but I don't know. I mean,
that is a good goal.
It is a great goal. What is your opinion, though, of the players rallying around Sterling and getting, trying to get the fans to applaud him? Now, mind you, when he came on, he did not get booed. I just want to put that out there. He did not get booed when he came on the pitch. So there'd be no booing.
I'd like to put it in the bigger context of how you and I both felt after the apology of Sterling. I think we both felt like he didn't need to apologize. Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
I would say overall, I would want the camaraderie of the team to be solidified. And if I would say it's a stupid situation about why we would need to do it in that way. I kind of hate that. I don't think that I mind the team literally lifting up each other. DCC picks up Sterling and wants the crowd to cheer them. I think right now it just shows that there's a disconnect between the team and the fans. That's what I would. I think that's my initial feeling. That's probably the best way to put it. It only demonstrates further, the disconnect. And I get trying to get the fans to be. Sterling missed that header at the end. I get why the players want the fan support, and that's how I would view that. They're courting the fan support. And they're doing that for a player that probably really needs it. But I think Sterling has been pretty awful this season. He was awful to me when people thought he was good, and he was awful to us when people thought he was good.
True.
I don't mind it at all that they're soliciting, and that's exactly what they're doing. They're soliciting support for Sterling. I don't mind that, because I do think things can get out of hand, even though I think you and I both agree that fans can express themselves in the way that they want to express themselves. Even if that can turn toxic. But at the same time, I'm sad that it has to be here, and the reason we're here is mainly because of Sterling's performance and the fact that, and not just performance, people want to put it on one game. I mean, Sterling has been pretty appalling for most of the season.
Yeah.
And and then the way that it worked out with Poch taking off a player who was growing into the game versus Sterling, who had clearly like screwed up so many things in that game, and was arrogant, and took the ball off of Palmer, and used his status as a senior player to do so. Mm-hmm. Like people forget that that's what happened because Sterling had a bad game and came out and apologized for it. Like, no, Sterling showed his ass that game.
Yeah.
And so I think, like, sure, I want the players to support each other. I want the players to understand, like, that the fans are disappointed in them. And I know that because I heard Craig Burley and what's his name? Sometimes he's on ESPN FC's former Chelsea player.
Oh, the French guy. What's his name?
No, maybe it wasn't a Chelsea player. It's a different guy. Anyway, I know that they were talking about, like, hey, if the fans are booing you, or like if you did something, the fans are disgruntled with you, and you know it, like you really feel that as a player, and the fan, like, unless you play the game, you don't understand. And it's like, I totally get that. Like, I totally understand that might be part of the game for a player. And I'm not saying that the pressure is on a fan or anything, and I'm not comparing. I don't think that the fan experience is equal to the player experience in how a game goes. But, like, they're both playing a role, right? And, like, if you, as a player, have just had one of the most appalling games that we've ever seen, at least this season, you had one of your worst games this season, and you were being favored by the coach. And I know there's philosophy on, do you take Sterling out? Does it make it worse? Whatever. But just have some backbone and, like, don't take out Mudryk. Anyway, that's a long rant. I don't mind the players supporting each other. I would expect it. I would want that to happen. The fact that it had to happen in that way is what bothers me. The fact that we have to now solicit, like it's the same thing as Sterling after he apologized. We're like, you don't have to apologize. Just play the game well in a way that we all expect you to, in a way that we all think that you can, or that you were supposed to be able to do. You know, like you don't have to solicit our support. Like, the fans are there to support you. Like, just do a really good job. Don't
suck.
Force it. Yeah.
Yeah, I do not appreciate being pandered to by players. I feel a little more strongly about it, I think, than you do, and it just points to one of those things that you talk about on here a lot more than I talk about on here. It's one of your more of, like, your pet peeves, I guess, with this club. Is just about how unlikable these players are.
Yeah.
And just this group of them, not that we hate the players, but just that there's no personal connection to these players like we feel like players in the past, like the Lampards, the Drogba's, the Terrys, the Hazards, you know, the Essians, the Makalele's, players like that, the John Obi Mikel's, players like that we feel that connection with. And, like, with this club, it's with this group of players, you don't really feel that with a lot of the players. Like, maybe, you know, you do a little bit with some of them, but not like you did back then. So I don't appreciate the pandering and the soliciting, as you put it. It just speaks to the fact that this is just not a likable group of people. Like, I support them. You know, I cheer them on. You know, I don't abuse them. I'll boo them. Some people consider that abuse. You know, yeah, I'll yell at my TV. You know, whatever.
Yeah.
But I just, there's nobody on this team like Reece James. I love Reece. He can't stay healthy. I like Cole Palmer. I'm growing into Nico, where I just like Nico.
Mm-hmm. I like Nico.
And Sterling, from all accounts, is a great person. But that doesn't mean that we need to pander to him if he's not playing good football. Like, this is the way society is. Everybody wants to win a trophy. No. Everybody doesn't get a trophy. We don't get to go to Europe based off statistics when we finish 11th in the table. We don't get to do that. I'm sorry. We're going to finish 11th, 10th, whatever. We're not going to Europe. Todd Boehly, you don't get a participation trophy. Sorry.
Yeah.
Players don't deserve, especially players on $300K a week plus. Don't deserve to be treated with child gloves. If they have a bad game and they get booed, suck it up. Go out there and do better next time. Be a man about it. Yeah, cool. I screwed up. I'm going to go do better next game. I don't need you to bring them to the sidelines and have me cheer them and pander to them. That's not what this is about.
Yeah.
That's not endearing yourself to the fans. And then on top of that, supposed to be Mr. Tried and True Chelsea, our third-tier captain, gets subbed off and doesn't even clap the fans when he leaves the pitch. He just walks off and walks down the tunnel. Mr. Gallagher. So, it just speaks to more of the disconnect.
Man, I remember earlier this season, everybody was on Gallagher's train, man, and he was doing okay, but he wasn't great, and he's really fallen off of it.
I wrote the article. I wrote
fault.
the apology article, and it's been downhill since I wrote that article. I jinxed
Oh, man. I see what's crazy about the booing, right? I don't want to spend too much time on the booing. I think it was a bunch of pent up frustration at all of it.
Yes.
We're talking about subbing a player. It was Mudryk who got subbed off, right? We're talking about subbing off a player who hadn't been getting the minutes, who hadn't really been getting that much of a fair shake, and instead of subbing the player who was statistically bad, not good at all, really, really bad, and I think it was just a bent up frustration of everything. It wasn't just everybody wants to reduce it to we just booed Sterling, or Sterling was the only player, or Sterling was the only thing we were booing. We're booing Poch being an idiot.
Yeah, we're booing that definitely too.
That's how I first read it. I never read it as when a player's doing bad. I mean, they know it. When that player then becomes when that player does 5 things really horribly, one of them out of their own arrogance, and has been a frustrating presence in the entire team, and then that player doesn't get subbed off at a critical moment, that calls, or that leads to the boos. Not just, it wasn't just Sterling missed a thing and then got booed. The boos didn't come until the sub came, if I remember correctly. So I didn't read that as we're trying to really go out of our way to make Sterling feel like shit. It was no. I read it more as we're making Poch feel like shit for being such an idiot all the time.
I read it both ways. I think it was direct. It was
and
you said it was a culmination of stuff. It was booing of everybody in and of the situation.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it wasn't just Sterling. I feel like we would have booed Sterling after he sky-high'd the 5th ball he sky-dived. You know what I mean? It comes at a moment where the expectation should have been, okay, it's time to bring him off.
Mm-hmm.
But whatever.
It's one of those things. You have a bad game, you get booed, you move on. If you have a good game, we cheer you. You move on. It is what it is. I'm so tired of hearing people take this moral high ground saying it's I was listening to one of the freaking Chelsea fan town hall things today, which was just crazy. Whatever. That's a whole nother podcast to talk about all that crap. But some dude comes on there and just is like, they're asking him about his thoughts on the state of Chelsea. He's like, it's just terrible that we boo our players. The players should never be booed and blah, blah, blah. He's like, I'll yell at my TV. I've broken remote controls. I've broken TVs watching Chelsea play before. But you shouldn't boo the players. And I'm like, you're just being hypocritical. Because you're angry in that moment at the players. That you're so angry that you break your freaking television. Like,
right.
You can't boo a player. But you can be angry enough to break a television at a team. And that's okay. But not boo a player. Because it might, hurt their feelings because you're actually saying it to their face and doing it while they're on the pitch instead of you just hiding behind a TV screen. Whatever.
Right.
I don't, it's just hypocritical bullshit. And I'm sick of it. That set me off today when I was listening to that.
I don't think of booing as abuse, but soccer players have always been, they've always had a reputation for being fragile. So I guess. I guess if you have a shit game, we're just supposed to pat you on the back and tell you that it's all good. And if the coach has a shit game, we're just supposed to pat him on the back and tell him it's all good. Like, I still don't agree with the fact that he had to apologize, but it's just like, why don't you come back out next game and have a really cool back heel assist? I mean, that seems to work out pretty well. Why don't you also stop missing all your damn chances? Yeah. Sterling's the reason our XG's up.
True. He's the reason we should be 4th, but we're 11th.
That stat is literally, hey, we thought you should have had that goal. Mm-hmm. And we're saying, hey, that's a positive. Mm-hmm. Because we should have had that goal. I'm like, why can't we just say, you should have had that goal? Why don't you get the goals? Yeah. Like, I don't understand how that's a positive. Like, I have no idea. I have no idea why they think we should be 4th.
Neither. Analytics, baby. Analytics.
Assholes, man. I boo that. Boo.
Yeah. Boo. But yeah.
Boo how you try to turn the statistics in your favor. You freaking jackasses. You have 40 points in 11th place. Shut up.
It's just like, you can take anything out of context and make it say whatever you want it to say. And that's what they're doing with statistics in this situation. They're just, whatever. But yeah, with the whole, like, booing the player stuff. And I mean, I guess maybe it's just a cultural thing. Because, like, in America, we boo people. We boo college athletes in America. These aren't even people that get paid. Well, up until
they do now.
Years ago, they do now. Up until a couple years ago, they didn't get paid other than in education. They got paid under the table, but that's another story.
Yeah. But no, they didn't. But yeah, they did. But they didn't.
Yeah, but they did. But they did.
But sure.
Yeah,
But we all turned a blind eye to it.
But yeah, of course, because we wanted to win.
But they didn't really. Yeah.
But no. But, we would boo them. So, I'm assuming at this point, it's probably a lot of cultural.
Yeah.
Probably some cultural stuff I'm missing in there. Because I've booed college athletes before. I've been in a stadium full of booing college athletes. 100,000 people booing college kids, 18 and 19-year-olds.
Yeah.
And I didn't feel bad for a second.
Yeah.
And this guy's getting paid $300K plus a week, and you want me to feel bad for booing him because he sucked in the game?
Yeah.
Get out of here. You're stupid. Get off your hot horse.
I just typed in, like, yeah. I just typed in, like, is it okay to boo? And, oh, man. There's a lot of different philosophies.
Oh, I'm sure there are. I don't care. It is okay to boo. I don't care. We're a pro-booing podcast.
Fans booing their own teams. Why it is acceptable.
Yeah.
A Medium article. A refresher course on the etiquette of booing. So, yeah, I'm with you, man. Maybe it is cultural. But I just don't think of it as that big of a deal. Like, suck it up and do better next time. It doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like it's the moment. Like it's a moment of frustration from the fans, And it's not necessarily like personal.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not sitting there saying I hate Raheem Sterling. I don't like Raheem Sterling. But if Raheem Sterling does something good, I will cheer Raheem Sterling. If Raheem Sterling does something bad, I will boo Raheem Sterling. Like, it's,
or we just get on a podcast and slag off his performance.
yeah. Raheem Sterling this last game.
Yeah.
Good. Back heel assist to Cole Palmer. Good. I mean, you missed the header after that, but...
Well, it's like, so on the podcast, right? Like, we talk about Raheem Sterling a lot and how much we just, like, do not care for his game at all. And, like, we can go through and point out all the negative things. And we can say that that makes us feel negatively towards Sterling as a player, that he doesn't do well. I feel like the nuance is also there in booing. But everybody wants to make it this bad thing because I think it changes the conversation to be something more... It's something more sinister.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, it's just fans expressing frustration. But God forbid the fans express any frustration towards a player who might have just had a bad game because that might hurt his feelings. Like, I get it. Like, nobody is, like, attacking Raheem Sterling personally.
Right.
Like, that would be horrible, and we do not condone that, and we don't do that.
Right.
Like, that's not what we're doing. But when I say he is shit at trapping a ball, he is shit at passing a ball, except for a back heel pass, apparently. He's really not that shit at passing the ball. He can cross a ball pretty well every now and then, but he is shit at finishing.
Yep.
And he's shit at dribbling.
Yeah, very shit at dribbling.
Or at least in take-ons. And it's like, why am I allowed to say that? Mm-hmm. But, like, I'm not allowed to boo the performance. I don't know. Maybe it is a cultural thing. I just don't think of it as that big of a deal. I'm just like,
I'm with you.
Everybody's frustrated with you, everybody on the pitch, including you, Potch. Like, just suck it up and don't turn it into a conversation about what is and what is acceptable at a football game. Like, I think we all know what is and what is acceptable, and booing is just enough of a gray area that people want to make that the headline. Instead of, like, let's actually talk about Raheem Sterling in a total dick move, taking the ball off of Palmer to take a PK, and then has one of the most atrocious PKs you will ever see. Like, that will be tape. Like, that will be used as tape, training tape, on how not to take a PK. Mm-hmm. That's how bad it is. And yet, he was scummy in the way that he did that. But we're not allowed to talk about that because the fans booed him. Mm-hmm. Sorry. Like, I just don't buy that line of reasoning. Like, it's just stupid. I don't know, man. Like, if the fans want to boo, the fans can boo. I don't give a damn. Like, if everybody wants to read into that more than they're reading into that, then, like, I'm sorry that everybody got their feelings hurt about it. Like, play better next time. God. Now I'm just mad. Now, I can't believe we're talking about the booing. This is what happens. This is what happens because Chelsea can't consistently do anything well in a match. Like, within a match. Like, you have, at the end of the first half, you now are playing a team with 10 players and their coach has been banned. Like, well, red carded as well. The coach has been kicked out of the game. Like, you have all the momentum. You just scored a penalty going into halftime. Like, you have all the momentum in the world. And you come out and you let a 10-man Burnley almost beat you. Like, I boo that. You can F right off. Mm-hmm. Like, you want goodwill from the fans? Like, don't freaking celebrate like you just won something when you scored the second goal. Why don't you see the damn game out?
Impossible.
They all were like I was watching those celebrations, and yeah, they're lifting up Sterling, and they're rallying around, and they're at the corner, and they're celebrating as hard as they can, and Potch is like looking at the crowd like, see what we did, see what we can do, we can win this, and then they don't. Like, why don't you actually earn that celebration by winning the damn game?
Can't see a game out, man. It's impossible, this team.
That's freaking ridiculous. It's a 10-man team in relegation with no coach.
with no coach. And they don't. And on top of that, they don't even have their best striker because he's our player. Fofana's there on loan and has been tearing it up for them. He couldn't even play because he's one of our own.
I mean, dude.
Here's a stat, Jason.
But I'm not allowed to boo them. I'm not allowed to boo it.
Chelsea, in our last 7 matches, we've led every single one of those matches at some point in time in our last 7. Haven't won a single one of them.
F that, man.
That's just we cannot keep a clean sheet. January 26th. January freaking 26th was the last time we kept a clean sheet. Can't see a game out. Can't do it. No consistency. I don't know, man. Hands up. I ain't got nothing. I don't have anything else.
I mean, Poch supposedly showed some passion at the press conference or whatever he did.
Yeah, maybe the first thing that Poch has said since he's been here that I agree with, he said that our players didn't play with heart and their brains, essentially. He pointed to his head. I don't know. So when have they this season? Over the course of the season. Maybe the only game that I can think of this season was the City game where we drew 4-4.
Yep.
That would be it. That would be the only game that I've seen this team show any fight, desire to win, whatever. That was probably the only game.
Right before added extra time in the pool cup final.
Yeah, true.
They were really going for it.
But those were kids, Jason.
No, yeah, we were playing against kids.
Those were kids, man. Yes,
God, man.
the Liverpool Cup game against people that were older than us, that had their average age of their squad was older than ours, so whatever.
Why does every game why do we just become a punchline at the end of every single thing that we do?
Because our coach is a punchline. He's fat. Fat Poch. He's going to start calling him Fat Poch. I don't even know if he's technically obese. He probably is. He's according to his BMI. Poch is fat according to his BMI. Yeah. Fat Poch.
See, that might be worse than booing.
It might be. I'm fat shaming him.
You're fat shaming our coach.
Fat shaming our coach. Maybe they'll fat shame him into some wins. I don't care about him losing weight.
I think most of this is shameless at this point. I don't think he cares. I don't know, man. I'd hope we fire him. I don't know. I'd rather take a chance on somebody than... I mean, we just watched an entire season of this guy do the exact same thing and, like, not be able to see games out and to have one of the worst Chelsea defense records we can probably remember in the modern era. Like, it's just really, really pathetic. Like, when was the last time you remember a Chelsea team letting in 47 goals?
Last year.
Outside of the Boehly era. I can't really remember one.
It wasn't when Tuchel was here. We were great defensively under Tuchel.
It's just wild. Like, it's just wild that, like, the conversation, and granted, I'm perpetuating this episode. I know exactly what I'm doing. All 10 of you haters out there. No, I'm just kidding. But, like, it is just wild that, like, we reduce games down to these, like, talking points, like booing or whatever, when, like, it's just stupid, man. And we're just a punchline. Like, then we just go draw a 10-man Burnley. Like, you can't, like, just when I think you can't write the season worse than it is, then we start doing stuff like this, and it's just really bad. Like at least at this point last season, we kind of just knew at the end of the season, or we knew every game was just like, nobody really cares, and they're all getting sold in the summer. Yeah. Like, at this season, we're talking about, like, kids at the start of their careers, like, being, like, playing for a team that's not coached very well. Because I actually think the raw talent on our team can be honed pretty well. I don't believe that Poch can do that next year. I don't believe Poch can Mikel Arteta this. Like that team was systematically built with Arteta's vision in mind. Like we have a top down. Poch got saddled with these 30-something players.
Mm-hmm. Oh, we're screwed.
Just like Potter got saddled with 40 players when he first came in.
Yeah. It's like somebody brought up a great point the other day. That, Poch asked for a more experienced midfielder because of Enzo and Casado being tired or whatever in the second half of the season. So they recalled Cassidy from loan. And he's played like half a game. He's made a couple of substitution appearances. That's it.
Late substitution appearances.
Yeah, I know I can think of two. One was against City because they scored right after he came on. And then I don't remember, and the other one was like the match before that or something like that, or the match after that. That's it. He's played two. Enzo literally got off a plane on freaking Thursday night at 11 p.m. and then went and played Saturday. He'd been back a little over 24 hours from international duty.
Yeah. It's really hard to see. What's crazy? What would be crazy? If we performed really well next season, and everybody be like, "See, told you, Poch was good." I want to remember these moments where Poch is making some really stupid decisions, and is not really helping anything.
No, he's not helping his case at all.
I don't care if he gets tactics right for 15 minutes at a time every other match. Every 5 matches. I don't give a damn.
What does he say at halftime?
Yeah. That's huge, man. What is he doing in that dressing room at halftime?
What does he do? I literally sit there and think that they have tea and biscuits during halftime because these players come out flat. Maybe they even have beer. I don't know.
Yeah.
They come out slow. I don't know. It's okay. If it happens one match, okay. It shit happens, okay? It happens again, okay, sure, whatever. We're talking 4, 5, 6, 7 matches. Let me pull the stat up because I have it on my phone. The stat is we have conceded 30 goals between the 40th and 55th minute of matches and the 80th to full time.
How much?
30 goals between the 40th and 55th minute and the 80th minute to full time. So that means all but 17 of the goals that we've conceded this year have been either right at the death of the first half, right at the beginning of the second half, or at the end of the match.
That's 64% of the goals.
64%. Thank you for doing math, Jason. I appreciate that.
Give me the thumb. Didn't give it to me. Maybe it doesn't work on here.
So as Jason just said, 64 freaking % of our goals, either the last 5 minutes of the first half, the first 10 minutes of the second half, or the last 10 minutes of the match. That's just crazy. It's mentality is what it is. That is a mentality. Because it's obvious that they're happening during those times, and those are times that they're probably switching off, thinking that they're just putting on cruise control. Oh, we've got this. We've got this. We don't need to play hard for the last 5 minutes of the first half. We're fine. Or we can come out flat out of halftime after having our beer and biscuit. We'll be fine.
Beer and biscuit. We should do that.
Hey, beer and biscuit.
That's pretty good.
But it's just infuriating.
Yeah.
It's infuriating. When you read
I want to always remember this. If Poch is still here next season and we have a little bit of success and we finish better than we did this season, there's no way we're coming winning next season. We're still talking a 4 or 5 year project here. But if we do a little bit better next season, if somehow we're saddled with Poch again we have a little bit more success than we did, I want to remember these moments where every single time we came out at half, we sucked because we were having beer and biscuits in the back. And 64% of our goals came in like some of the more pivotal moments of the game, and that eventually cost us.
Yep.
It's outrageous.
It is.
We can never forget this. Never forget, Daniel.
Never forget. Yeah, let's forget the Burnley match though, and let's move on to another midweek game that us Americans have to somehow figure out a way to watch during work, and most of the time, poor Jason, doesn't get to watch the matches because his work life does not allow him to anymore.
So many of our games have been midweek too.
And
like, what's happening?
There's more coming. There's a couple more this year too.
NBC sucks. Like, I know that they don't always schedule the games, but like, man, am I sick of like, not only that, but like, how many Monday games do we have? I don't know, man. This is stupid.
It's not.
It's
the FA.
I know, but I want to blame NBC.
Blame the peacock, man.
I blame Boehly.
Blame Boehly. There you go.
I blame Boehly and Pochettino. Boo. Yep. Thanks for screwing us.
So yeah, needless to say, we play United. Prediction?
I don't even know what to predict, man.
I don't either. You can't. Predicting this team is terrible. It's at home.
That's nice. Oh, I'm going to predict a loss. I know that it's Manchester United. That means that we should do better than we are, and we're not going to. What am I going to predict? I'm going to predict a 2-1 loss.
We have not beaten United since 2020.
Yeah. That's insane.
Insane. And that was in the FA Cup. When was the last time we actually won? Holy crap.
Yeah, this is a stupid score because we've actually been doing pretty good scoring. But I just have to believe that, like, we're going to go in thinking, we can get something off of Man U, and we're going to come out flat in the second half, and we're going to not take our chances, and Sterling's going to get in there and F it up somehow, and VAR is going to take something off of us, and Poch is going to screw us with the sub, and Cole Palmer's going to try his damnedest, and he's not going to do it, or DCC is going to throw one in the back of the net. DCC is literally going to pick up a ball and throw it in the back of the net. That's what's going to happen. And they're going to be like, this is unprecedented. I guess we'll just let the goal stand. And that's what VAR is going to do. Like, there's no point. Like, I'm just going to say 2-1. I don't know. I don't care.
When trivia time, what year was the last time that we beat United in the Premier League?
I can't remember, man. I don't know. 2017.
You got it right. 2017. 20
Thank you.
2017.
Just seemed right.
It's just, I'm going. Something's gonna happen. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do that. We're gonna win 3-2.
Oh my God. Okay.
This team will not keep a clean sheet for the rest of the year. I don't know, man. I just got a feeling this is the team. We suck, and then we do good, and we suck, and we do good, and we suck, and we do good. It's the ebb and flows of this team.
We're due a loss. We haven't had.
When was our last win?
Leicester in the FA Cup.
Okay. Besides, when was our last? Okay, I guess before that, March 11th, we beat Newcastle in the Premier League. So, I mean, you might be right. We probably are due a loss here.
We just haven't gone this long without losing this entire season.
Yeah, it's been a while since we lost. I mean, we haven't lost in the Premier League since February 4th.
It's time to break the streak, man.
You're probably right. We're probably going to lose. You know, I'm sticking with the 3-2 Chelsea win. I got to put some good mojo. I got to put some good vibes out there, man, because we need some good vibes out there.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm glad you're putting the good vibes out there. I'm frustrated. I'm gonna boo this team as I go to sleep tonight.
Boo.
Just so everybody can tell me how terrible and negative I am. I don't care.
Oh.
I don't care. If anything, I'm apathetic, and if anything, that's worse. I'd rather somebody slag me off for being an apathetic fan than I am for being a passionately negative fan.
What you do, you man. You be whatever kind of fan you want to be, Jason. Don't let people tell you how to be a fan.
They saw it all tonight. They saw all of my roller coastery thoughts and feelings on this team tonight,
Yeah.
and I don't care if some of it was hypocritical, and I don't care if some of it didn't make sense. Like this whole team, this is the team. This is the entire season. This is how I feel. My mental state about the team matches how the team has performed, not how the team has been expected to perform and didn't perform.
Yeah, I mean, the end of the season can't get here soon enough. I'm so ready to do the last episode of this season and close a chapter on it so we don't ever have to freaking talk about it again. But we still have to suffer through 9 more matches. Plus the FA Cup.
Yeah. That'll be fun.
I'm ready for the season to be over with. I'm ready to have an end of the year wrap up and just literally 5 minutes. This team sucks. Let's move on. Who was the player of the year? Okay.
Cole Palmer.
Great. We're done. Call it a season.
See you around.
See ya. We're moving on to next year.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. Anything else you need to add, Jason, this episode?
No. I've said too much.
Well, I mean, there's nothing else to add. Then Jason, tell these beautiful people where they can find us at these days.
Little positivity here. Daniel is amazing. And he's also amazing at doing things on X, doing things on Substack, posting our videos from YouTube. Like and subscribe. Yeah. If you want more rants and ravings, off the cuff. We're off the cuff. We don't edit this. This is live. Well, live for us. This is real. Nothing's edited. A lot of it is just spontaneous thoughts about how we feel about the club. Like, about how we feel about the games that just happened. Like, we don't, pre-plan the things that we say here. Like, this isn't scripted. This is... Maybe that's what you like. Maybe that's what you don't like. It doesn't matter. Like, this is what you get. This is what we can do. We're old. We only have so many skills. We barely have a YouTube channel. But you can read.
We have one.
Yeah, but we have one. It's in 720p because we're cheap. Right. We're too cheap to pay for the HD right now.
Yep.
But anyway, if you like watching pixelated videos of me and Daniel, like and subscribe. And also, if you want to follow us for match reviews, check out our texting conversations during the games. Daniel's got some pretty awesome articles in the works, and he keeps up with the X. If you want to see all of that, if you want to keep up with all of that, check us out. Twitter, Substack, YouTube, at Red White Blues FC.
Yep, it's right there. We are on Apple and Spotify. You know,
Amazon.
You listen to your podcast there. What'd you say, Jason? What was that?
Amazon.
What's that?
Daniel, I think you forgot to mention Amazon.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, I didn't. I'm so sick of that stupid place. Inside joke. If you haven't listened to the other episodes, you won't get that. But if you have listened to the other episodes, thank you. You get that joke.
Sorry, I'm just doing the math. I think 95% of our episodes, you've said that our podcast is available on Amazon. And then on 50% of those, you said No, we're not going to be on Amazon until Amazon gives us the bag.
That's true. I said that. Yes, that is probably accurate, I would say. I think this is the longest streak I've had to 2 episodes in a row now of not saying that we're going to be on Amazon. So I'm on a bit of a streak. You know, I need to put one of those little boards above my laptop, like 2 episodes without saying we're on Amazon. You know, just to see how the streak.
Oh God!
Until Bezos gives us the back, then I'll say it all he wants me to.
Hey, add this to the stats, baby.
But yeah, catch us on those platforms. We're on YouTube too, like Jason said. Our @ is below, as you can see right down here at the bottom of the screen. Give us a like, give us a follow. 5-star review on the podcast would be fantastic. My allergies right now are just going nuts. So if you hear sniffling and anything else in the microphone, I apologize. So until next time, we'll catch you guys on the flip side.
It's my club, and I'll boo if I want to. No, seriously. Sorry we talked about that so long. Flippity floppity.